Okay, so today we have the Libertines and Don't Look Back into the Sun. So this one was requested. The Libertines were anyway, and I figured I might as well just go with their, I guess, one of their biggest hits anyway. So yeah, here we are. First time listen for me. Never heard of this band. This song is only about 3 minutes long, so it's not too long. But yeah, we're gonna get into it, talk about it after. So let's go. I feel like I'm out of breath. Oh, light.
Now you know that the time is come, and they said it would never come for you. Oh, my friends, you haven't changed. You're looking rough and living strange, and I know you got a taste for it too. They'll never forgive you, but they won't let you go. Oh no, she'll never forgive you, but she won't let you go. To the sun, you cast your pearls, but you're on the run. And all the lies you said, who did you save? And then they played that song at the dead disco. It started fast, but it ends so slow. And all the time just reminded me of you. They'll never forgive you, but they won't let you go. Let me go! She'll never forgive you, but she won't let you go. Oh no! She won't let you go, oh no.
Damn. All right. The Libertines and Don't Look Back in. I was gonna say Don't Look Back in Anger. Don't Look Back into the Sun. I guess we'll get on to Don't Look Back in Anger in a minute here. But yeah. So off the top, I have to say, I really liked. I mean, it was just an enjoyable song. I mean, it sounds like a dull thing to say off the top, but it's just. I mean, blissful is a word that comes to mind. And I don't know, just with how the song started with the drumming, and the guitar came in there a little bit. It sounded a little raw. I really kind of like that sound. And then Pete Doherty, who was on vocals. My goodness, my dad is singing in the background. I don't know if you can hear that. All right, he stopped. Anyway, so with Pete on vocals here, actually, there is a personnel here, but I know that apparently Pete and Carl, I want to say Barat, I don't know how you would say his last name, but Carl, he was also a co-frontman, but I think Pete was on the vocals here. I do know that this was a standalone single, did not appear on any albums, except for, I think, a compilation album. But yeah, anyway, Carl was on guitar and vocals, apparently. John Hassel on bass, and then we have Gary Powell on drums. And I have to say as well, what kind of goes unnoticed, what I noticed until the end, or at the end, whatever, like I said, yeah, I didn't notice until the end, was just, yeah, the drumming. I liked the rhythm. I liked just how kind of fast it sounded. And yeah, so Gary was on it on that one. And I mean, it had kind of a punk flair, I want to say. I guess maybe pop punk, you would say, because it does sound poppy, but also it also, I could see this being in like a movie, like a Disney movie, or I don't know, a DreamWorks movie or something like that, or just being like a theme song to like a kids TV show. Even though I know the lyrics are, not the, I mean, I guess we'll get into the lyrics in a minute, but they're not, the shiniest kind of lyrics, but the music itself is just so kind of fluttery, and it's just, I don't know, it sounded really nice, and I really enjoyed it, and just, yeah, it kind of made me feel a little happy. I don't know, but obviously, with the lyrics here, it's kind of a different story, but we will get into this. So it says off the top, he starts off, Pete goes, yeah. And also I want to say, when he said, like, he kind of screamed that, and I didn't know if he was going to, like, kind of be kind of a louder singer, but then he started singing, and he kind of sounded just mellow, and yeah, he wasn't screaming. It wasn't like, Johnny Rotten yelling at you or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, it was just, he was just doing his own thing here. And I was just like, oh, okay, that's what he's going to do. But then he did kind of raise his voice when he was saying, let me go, which I like that. And yeah, just little subtle changes. I like that a lot. So anyway, looking here on the first verse, I guess. Don't look back into the sun. Now you know that the time is come, and they said it would never come. Oh, oh, oh. And then we have, oh, my friend, you haven't changed. You're looking rough and living strange, and I know you got the taste for it too. Oh, oh, oh. So there is an annotation here from Genius. It says, most likely a reference to Pete's troubles with drug addiction. He permanently looks a state due to his addictions and his way of living strange. This is how he wants to live, it appears. And again, I never listened to the Libertines. I never looked them up or whatever, so I did not know about Pete's addiction. But apparently, I see here on Wikipedia, he was pretty full on into a heroin addiction. I don't know if that was his only drug, or that was his drug of choice or whatever. But obviously, yeah, drug addiction is no fun for your bandmates or yourself or whatever. But I mean, it's an addiction. Anyway, moving on. They'll never forgive you, but they won't let you go. She'll never forgive you, but she won't let you go. So there's an annotation here. It says, Pete's band members sometimes will let him off the tour bus because of his state. My goodness. This line is telling us they aren't forgiving him, but instead of releasing him from the band, they are letting him go because there still could be hope for him. So yeah, that's really kind of sad there. My goodness. Let him go off the bus. I mean, his state, what a state you'd have to be in. Obviously, again, I mean, drugs just take over, and it's just, I mean, you don't really know what to do. The only person that can really help them is themselves or whatever. The only person that could help Pete was Pete, and yeah, I mean, that's quite the state to be in. Holy. Okay, so yeah, yeah, I didn't know the song was that sad. I don't know why I'm laughing, but yeah, it's just yeah, I do think that Pete. I see here in an interview apparently that Carl did, that Pete is better now, I'd say, and from what it looks like. And I mean, this song came out in 2003, and now it's 2021, so I think it seems like he's doing okay now. It looks like, from what Carl was saying in an interview I saw on Wikipedia. But anyway, that I was reading up on. Anyway, so it says here, when it goes back, don't look back into the sun. You've cast your pearls, but you're on the run. And all the lies you said, who did you save? So this is here for an annotation. According to Carl, the title in the chorus sequence is heavily influenced by two songs, Don't Look Back in Anger by Oasis, of course, and the Velvet Underground song, Ride Into the Sun. Now, I've done some Velvet Underground songs, but I don't think I've done that one yet. I do not believe. It says the sun Lou Reed was writing about is the feeling you get from heroin. So the phrase, don't look back into the sun, probably alludes to not looking back to drugs, trying to stay clean in difficult circumstances without being distracted by thinking about the past experiences and sensations of drugs. On Pete's most recent solo tours, he played both with an extended jam. So obviously now he can still play the songs, which is pretty cool. And yeah, I mean, this does just kind of sound like, I don't know I wouldn't say it's cry for help. I mean, but it's just like the band, it kind of gives me, not musically, but lyrically, kind of like Alice in Chains vibes, with how Jerry Cantrell would write songs about Lane's state, and even Lane would write some songs about his own state, but just that kind of vibe. And I don't know, I'm always into that kind of stuff, the deep cut stuff, and that cuts right through you with the lyrics and about drugs, and can be pretty sad. But anyway, yeah, so I like how they took, two songs from two legendary bands and put them together, and yeah, and also it says, also just relating to Oasis. I have a lot I want to say, um, related to Oasis. With how the song ended with like clapping, that also reminded me of another Oasis song, whatever. At the end of that song, they clap, and that just gave me whatever vibes at the end of that one too. I don't know if that was intentional or that's just how it went, but yeah, they already took some inspiration from "Don't Look Back in Anger," so maybe. Anyway, it goes on, and then they played that song of the Death Disco. It started fast but ends so slow, and all the time just reminded me of you. So when he says, the Death Disco, I was thinking of the Smiths song, "Death of a Disco Dancer," I think it was called, which is one of my favorite Smith songs I've heard. And I don't know if there's any, if that's anything to do with the Smiths. I mean, this is a UK band. I mean, the Smiths were pretty big in the UK. I mean, Johnny Marr and Morrissey and all that are pretty influential. But yeah, it's just, I don't know if that was anything to do with the Smiths, but just hearing Death Disco, that just reminded me of that. And anyway, then we just have pretty much the outro here. They'll never forgive you, but they won't let you go. Just repeating that again. And then yeah, so then just looking at it now, and then it's repeated again. They'll never forgive you, but won't let you go. And then when Pete screams, kind of screams, like I said, "Let me go." There's kind of like some dialogue there. Like the band saying, or not the band, but I don't know, just whatever. There's people saying, they won't let you go, but then Pete's saying, "Let me go." And yeah, I like that. I just had a realization that was kind of, there's more to it, just there if you think about it. So yeah, my goodness, "Let me go." And I mean, yeah, and that's what I mean. If you've watched like shows like Intervention or whatever, I mean, yeah, it's just like some of the time, the addict wants to be let go, "Let me go," whatever. I don't care if you'll still be there for me. I just want to get my fix, kind of a thing. And so yeah, the song really kind of cut deep for just 2 minutes and 58 seconds, and for such kind of a nice sound to it. The lyrics were pretty deep. So yeah, my God. Anyway, yeah, my first listen to the Libertines. Holy. So I have to say, I really enjoyed it. My goodness, I don't know. And like I said, it just kind of a deep song. I like the title again. I like that they were influenced by Oasis and the Velvet Underground. I mean, two bands that I've explored through this channel. And yeah, so I guess that's about the size of it. So yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for liking, subscribing, commenting. I really appreciate all the support. And I guess I'll talk to you guys again soon. And I'm sorry for this light thing. My God, I don't know what's going on with the lighting. But anyway, bye.